Welcome to a night of total terror.
In 1968, George Romero brought us Night of the Living Dead. It became the classic horror film of its time.
We must not be lulled by the concept that these are our family members or our friends. They are not. They will not respond to such emotion.
Now, George Romero brings us the most intensely shocking motion picture experience for all time.
It gets up and kills. The people it kills get up and kill.
When there is no more room in hell, the dead will walk the earth.
First came the night, then came the dawn. Now comes the most eagerly awaited day in horror film history.
Welcome back to Thursday of the Dead, episode 205. My name is Chase. Today's episode is a little bit different in that it's just focused on a single book, which is Fabio Frizzi's Backstage and Beyond, which, as you can see, is an autobiography. I pre-ordered this book when I saw it was announced. I went for the bigger version because I wanted the signed book plate by Fabio, which you'll see here in a second. And Fabio is someone that came onto my radar basically the first time I saw a Lucio Fulci movie, which was Gates of Hell, or City of the Living Dead, which I've covered many times in previous episodes, where I dragged my mom to see it at a local mall and instantly fell in love with Lucio Fulci's films. And I really paid attention to that soundtrack. It reminded me of Goblin, which, at that point I already loved, and became a lifelong fan of Fabio Frizzi. And here's the signed book plate, younger Fabio. I was lucky enough to see Fabio perform live at a place called The Chapel in San Francisco, which was basically an old church converted into a performance venue. And for his presentation, it was the perfect venue. They screened segments of different movies behind him, kind of like what Goblin does live. And his performance was great. One of my favorite concerts of all time. And I hope to see him again sometime soon. So, to be honest, first thing I did when I got the book was look at the pictures. And after that, I went in search of what he said about working with Fabio, or with Lucio Fulci. And he had some very interesting stories about working with Lucio Fulci. They had a better relationship than I expected. I've heard many stories about how difficult Lucio was to work with. And he comments a bit on that and some of the arguments they got into during the process of him composing scores. The entire book is a fun read. I know that it was translated, and I think it was originally published a few years ago in its original language. And they did a good job in the translation because it's very conversational, very interesting information. I also like that Fabio talks about how his career changed because of social media and the internet. I've corresponded with him on Facebook a couple times, and he's, a friendly guy and receptive to it. And then he talks about how people making short films, like Lucio Fulci style short films, have been approaching him to create new scores, for short films, and the importance of short films, which I appreciated. And he talks about the Fulci to Frizzi tribute, which was I think the tour that I saw. I have a signed record from him. And his comments about Quentin Tarantino using his music is pretty interesting, especially when he talks about the premiere of Kill Bill. But very interesting read, and if you're a fan of Lucio Fulci, you should definitely check this out. If you're a fan of Fabio Frizzi, then you should already own this. But the Beyond the Composer's Cut was what I wanted my next movie to be in my Thursday of the Dead film series, and sadly I don't think that's going to happen, especially now that I moved to Las Vegas. But anyway, thank you for watching.